What up, what up? It's your boy Goober, and today I'm in Hope Forest and Olympic National Park. This is in Washington State, and on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how to break the simulation. And by simulation, I'm not talking about the Matrix, because the Matrix is the software, but the simulation is the engine. So I'm gonna be diving deep into how to do that, whether you're scientific or spiritual or just a derper. The language I'm gonna use should be relatable to either of how far you are in any of these spectrums, and mostly in a way that's actually actionable and in a way you can see in your everyday life. And this is going to be through talking about the idea of Reticular Activation System, R.A.S. Now, before we dive deeper into this concept of R.A.S, I want you to take a look around you. Look at all these trees, all this furry moss, the giant ferns around you, okay? And just look how crazy and prehistoric everything looks. And this should allow you to question, what is reality? I mean, I'm in the jungle here, and everything is competing to eat each other. So this idea that reality is not malleable, I'd encourage you to go into a forest, a wacky looking forest like this one, and take a look around you, and it makes you question what is reality in general. I mean, you got this trees with beards, you got nursing logs, okay, trying to feed little baby trees, and then those little baby trees are competing against each other. And survival here is so tough. It is so just like brutal. And you start to question, like, yo, I came from this forest. So what is even reality? These places, they stretch your reality and your perspective. And it's just to get the mind jogging, okay? So what is R.A.S? R.A.S, if you've ever been to any kind of seminar or workshop or program, if it's a good one, they would have explained to you what R.A.S is, which is your selective focus. This is what forms basically your perspective and, in consequence, your reality. Basically, R.A.S is a part in your brain that lets you see what you're focused on and only allows you to see what your R.A.S is focused on. So your R.A.S is primed to focus on two things: value and threat. And the reason they teach you these things on money-making seminars is because most of the time, the reason you're not getting the results you want is not because of a lack of knowledge. There's plenty of knowledge out there. It's because you aren't focusing on the right things. Your reality is out of whack and your perspective. So R.A.S is focused on value and threats. And a good example of this is when you learn a new word, for example, a new word you've never heard of, and then suddenly you're hearing that word everywhere. Okay, I'm sure you've experienced this. Or maybe I tell you, hey, you know, Steve, I hate the way Steve smacks his lips when he eats. It's so annoying. But then you've been friends with Steve for a while, you've never noticed that. And now suddenly, every time you're with Steve, that's all you can notice, right? All you can notice is Steve smacking his lips, and then suddenly that's all you can see, all you can hear. And now you're so annoyed at Steve until you're like, I hate Steve. I hate the way he smacks his lips. And you know, your relationship with Steve used to be great, and now you have a totally skewed perspective on Steve because you've skewed your R.A.S. Now it's just focused on all the negative things about Steve. So ultimately, what are these principles that make R.A.S focus on value? For example, Hollywood. How do they hijack your R.A.S? to go crazy over celebrities? Well, they add, for example, high production value to a celebrity through music videos, through style, like very flashy style that, hijacks your attention. Like, look at this, so shiny. Third is social proof, a lot of validation from other people, from the tribe, that makes you assume status on this person, that this person must have high status, which equals high value, which equals R.A.S hijacked. And now you're like seeing only the good thing this person does and justifying all the good thing, all the actions this person makes as probably a good thing, whether or not it's a good thing. And that's how Hollywood does it, for example. Another thing, for example, the media and politicians, sometimes, not all the time, will hijack your R.A.S to pay attention to threats, okay? And now when you go about your life, you're focused on looking for those threats and you react in a particular way. It changes your reality. Now, how does this benefit you? So let's say you're trying to get a particular goal, okay? And you want to make it in your mind that it's real, that you can get this. So what you'd have to do is hijack your own R.A.S, which is basically what you are, is high consciousness, or DNA at the core, coaxed with higher consciousness. So you want to get your DNA on your side by hijacking your own R.A.S to focus on what you want. And the way to do this is, for example, how some people would use prayer, right? They pray for certain things that they want. And as they go about their life, they maybe get the thing they wanted from hard work, or just because now they're focused on it on the subconscious level, they can see where those opportunities, the lane of where those opportunities can happen, because now their mind is focused on it, because they prayed, i.e. they're trying to manifest things, so they can actually see that lane, take action, and then they're like, oh, prayer has been answered. Similarly, some people use hypnosis, which is they'll talk to their subconscious, they'll reprogram their focus, because your focus is constantly being hijacked by advertisements, by corporate media, by the news. Everyone's trying to hijack your focus because they want you to buy from them, or you have energy people want, okay? The energy to either through money or physical labor is valuable. So people are always trying to hijack your focus. So you need to get your DNA on your side by tuning to the things you want to focus on, whether the threats or the values, and making sure it's aligned with what you want to happen. So when it comes to actually breaking the simulation, you would want to buy in fully into the things you're trying to focus on, fully bought in, so that becomes all you see around you, that's aligned to your goals. Like this forest, I could tell you it's extraordinary beautiful, or it's the most terrifying thing ever, because there's bears, there's lions, everything can kill you, right? So your perspective is everything. You can shape your reality, and as a result, by changing what you focus on is how you break the simulation and create an engine of your own desire. Now, the software, the matrix that runs the simulation, that is for another video, okay? I have not figured out exactly how to break the software, because otherwise I'd have everything that I want. However, I am so privileged enough that the only concern I have right now is just money. It's the only concern I have in my life is just money. Everything else, I've got it. So I'm still trying to tweak the matrix, but the simulation is there. It's all I can see. I've hijacked my own focus, and I've created an engine that is taking me to where I want to go. As a good buddy of mine would say, the things that you want is what lead you to the actions you have to take to get the results that you want. Now, a drawback of all this is realizing that actually we don't see reality correctly as humans. We don't know what reality is because everyone is almost delusional, and we're all creating our own simulations. It's just a matter of choosing which one benefits you. If everyone's going to be delusional, you might as well be delusional to get what you want and have your own beautiful dream life. So it's kind of scary, but it's also kind of liberating because now we have to somehow, through all this R.A.S mess, find a way for all of us to connect and agree on the same things because we see reality so different, which is probably why there is groupthink, so we can all agree on certain things. However, you can see where groupthink can limit your life when you don't feel like it's getting your own needs met. So the goal of this is to bring awareness to R.A.S, to know when someone's hijacking your R.A.S, and also when you're hijacking your own R.A.S, when you start focusing on negative things, and how to start tuning it to create the game that you want. Stay frosty, stay sharp.